It seems that Susil Premajayantha, the former Minister of Education, was not idle during the last presidential election season. Instead, he authorized one of the most extraordinary procurement scandals in recent memory, the hurried purchase of 1,000 smartboards at a staggering cost of Rs. 1.49 billion boards, which today lie unused, gathering dust in storage facilities. According to the latest audit report issued by the National Audit Office, no national emergency warranted such an urgent procurement. Yet the Education Ministry, under Premajayantha's direction, fabricated an emergency and rushed through a deal that broke every known procurement procedure. What makes the affair all the more egregious is that Sri Lanka had already been offered 500 smartboards free of charge, courtesy of a $20 million grant from the Chinese government. The grant was designed to launch a pilot project across schools, but the ministry, instead of accepting the aid, deliberately ignored the offer and instead spent public money to purchase 1,000 units. The audit makes clear that every procurement rule was flouted, with officials citing a false emergency to justify the purchase. By May 31, 2025, the audit confirmed all 1,000 smartboards remained in warehouses, unopened and unused. Their warranty periods 1 year from purchase are now close to expiring, with no school children having benefited from the costly technology. Of the 1,000 schools identified to receive the boards, 121 lacked the required fiber optic internet facilities, making installation impossible. This glaring oversight raises serious questions about the planning and due diligence conducted before the massive purchase was approved. The National Audit Office insists that senior ministry officials, including the chief accountant, the additional secretary for ID and digital education, and members of the Technical Evaluation Committee should be held accountable and that the financial loss be recovered from them. Yet critics argue that officials rarely act on whim. Behind the scenes, they claim Premajayantha himself exerted pressure, ensuring the boards were purchased ahead of the election and distributed to schools in a manner designed to curry favor with voters and, by extension, bolster the campaign of then-President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The controversy has drawn parallels with a notorious case 2 decades ago, when Sports and Trade Ministers Mahindananda Aluthgamage and Nalan Fernando were sentenced to 20 and 25 years imprisonment respectively for buying and distributing carom boards to influence voters. If distributing carom boards was deemed corruption worthy of heavy prison terms, critics ask, how is Premajayantha's smartboard scandal any different? The scale of the financial impropriety in this case is staggering. At Rs. 1.49 billion, the smartboard purchase represents a significant portion of the education budget. Funds that could have been used to address critical shortages in textbooks, improve school infrastructure, or provide much-needed teacher training. Instead, this money has effectively been squandered on technology that sits idle, its potential benefits unrealized, and its warranty ticking away. Moreover, the rejection of China's free gift of 500 smartboards raises troubling questions about the motivations behind the ministry's decision-making. Why would officials turn down a no-cost option that would have allowed for a measured, pilot-based approach to introducing this technology in Sri Lankan classrooms? The decision to instead commit vast sums of public money to a rushed, larger-scale purchase suggests either gross incompetence or, more worryingly, a deliberate attempt to create opportunities for financial malfeasance. The timing of the purchase, coinciding with the lead-up to a presidential election, adds another layer of suspicion to the affair. It is a pattern all too familiar in Sri Lankan politics, the sudden acceleration of public projects and distribution of goods as polling day approaches. But while past scandals might have involved more modest items like carom boards, the sheer scale of the smartboard purchase takes election season largesse to new heights. Calls for a full investigation have now reached a fever pitch. The audit report has put the ball squarely in the court of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. Shiabak. Legal observers and public watchdogs insist a formal investigation must follow. Anything less, they warn, would confirm suspicions that election season corruption in Sri Lanka remains untouchable when committed by the political elite. The implications of this scandal extend far beyond the immediate financial loss. It strikes at the heart of public trust in government institutions and the education system itself. Parents and teachers alike must now grapple with the knowledge that while their schools struggle with basic needs, millions have been wasted on technology that may never reach a single classroom. For students, the message is equally disheartening. At a time when digital literacy is increasingly crucial for future success, the promise of cutting-edge educational tools has been dangled before them only to vanish into warehouses. The lost opportunity for hands-on experience with smartboards represents not just a financial waste, but a setback in preparing Sri Lankan youth for an increasingly tech-driven global economy. The scandal also casts a long shadow over Sri Lanka's international relations and aid partnerships. The rejection of China's grant offer may strain diplomatic ties and make future donors wary of extending similar gestures of goodwill. In a country still grappling with economic challenges, the cavalier treatment of foreign assistance is a luxury Sri Lanka can ill afford. As pressure mounts for accountability, all eyes are now on the SHIABOC and other investigative bodies. Will they pursue this case with the vigor it demands, regardless of the political connections of those involved? The answer to this question will speak volumes about the state of Sri Lanka's anti-corruption efforts and the health of its democracy. For Susil Premajayantha, the coming days and weeks promise to be challenging. As calls for his arrest grow louder, he faces not just potential legal consequences but also the court of public opinion. His legacy as education minister, once perhaps envisioned as one of modernization and technological progress, now risks being defined by this billion-rupee boondoggle. The smartboard scandal serves as a stark reminder of the need for rigorous oversight in public procurement, especially in sectors as critical as education. It underscores the importance of transparent decision-making processes and the dangers of allowing political considerations to override sound policy and fiscal responsibility. As the investigation unfolds, it will be crucial for Sri Lankan citizens and media to maintain pressure for a thorough and impartial inquiry. The outcome of this case could set important precedents for how high-level corruption is handled in the country, potentially deterring future abuses or, if mishandled, emboldening those who would exploit public office for personal or political gain. For now, the smartboards sit in storage mute, expensive witnesses to a system that too often confuses public service with political self-preservation. Their fate, like that of those responsible for their purchase, remains uncertain. But one thing is clear, the people of Sri Lanka deserve better stewardship of their resources and a commitment to education that prioritizes students' needs over political machinations. As this scandal continues to unfold, it serves as a powerful reminder of the ongoing challenges facing Sri Lanka's governance and anti-corruption efforts. The resolution of this case will be watched closely, not just as a matter of justice for past actions, but as an indicator of the country's commitment to transparency, accountability, and the proper use of public funds in the service of its citizens.